I love my Golf GTI. It's the purest of all the hatchbacks. It's the original hot hatch. I don't need any of that all-wheel drive business. I don't care that I get chopped at the lights by Golf R owners. Oh, what's that? This is the new Mark 8.5 Golf R, and today I'm going to show you guys around the exterior of the car. We're going to jump inside and check out the interior and some of the new tech, and then we're going to take it for a drive, including a little bit of track time. Let's check it out.
The Golf R has always been the sharpest suit in Volkswagen's wardrobe, but with the Mark 8.5, it's more tailored than ever. The changes over the Mark 8 might seem subtle, but look a little closer and the evolution becomes clearer. Up front, there's a completely redesigned front bumper. It's more sculpted, more aggressive, and crucially, distinct from the GTI. Gone is the shared lower grille from the Mark 8 generation. There's a cleaner, more motorsport-inspired look with vertical blades and larger intakes that hint at the car's increased cooling needs and performance intent. I love the LED matrix headlights. They're slimmer, sharper, and they're redesigned with an animated light signature. Yes, the glowing Volkswagen logo makes a return, and it's also shared with the GTI. The R has always been a subtle but effective flex, I think. Compared to the GTI, which also gets all this LED makeover, it just feels more focused. It's a little less playful, it's more professional. Not much has changed down the side of the car, at least at a distance. The wheels though are a standout, especially these new 19-inch Warmanauer forged alloys. You can find them on the Black Edition here in Australia, and soon the Warmanauer Edition as well. They drop nearly 8 kilos of unsprung weight. Visually, they bring a motorsport edge that is sort of lacked in the past. Still, I like the standard wheels, as you can see in all these photos on the blue car, but I have a spot for the diamond cut Warmanauer wheels, arriving on that special edition soon. Changes at the back, they're more restrained. There's a new rear light signature, it's darkened and it's more technical in its design, but I'm not sure that I'm in love with it. I actually really like the signature on the Mark 8. The R keeps its quad tailpipes, of course, and if you choose the Warmanauer edition, you'll get that titanium Akropovich exhaust, and it sounds pretty special. Color choices stay the same. You get that beautiful blue, white, and black. It would be great to see some special one-off colors in the future, but there's none in plans right now. Where the GTI looks more cheeky and charming, the R looks like it means business. It's less extroverted than a Civic Type R and more premium than a GR Corolla. I think it's refined aggression, and in typical Volkswagen fashion, it doesn't scream, it whispers, and then it blasts past you at 270 kilometers an hour. Let's take a look at the interior.
Bend back with another light one.
So here we are inside the new Golf R. It's actually a really nice place to sit. We've driven a couple 100Ks today. As part of the launch event, we actually started in Orange, then we drove all the best roads in sort of rural New South Wales to Katoomba last night, and we rolled into Sydney Motorsport Park here this morning. Yesterday's drive, as you're about to see in the in-car video, was extremely wet. There were potholes everywhere, but the car did quite well. What do I think of the interior? Well, I've actually just been driving around the GTI for a while. And there are some key differences. Steering wheel is completely different. It has the capacitive touch, sort of hidden buttons until you turn the car on, backlit buttons, if you will. And obviously there's a lot more blue instead of red. Everything that's red in the GTI gets pretty much replaced by blue. Nappa leather seats, they're standard in Australia. What's not standard is the roof. You also get Harman Kardon and a whole bunch of other goodies that you wouldn't usually get in a Golf R, mostly exterior stuff on the outside because of the performance package, like the rear wing. Gives you everything you want from a luxury premium sedan, say your Audi A4s, but in a fast, hot hatch. So here's that 12.9-inch touchscreen infotainment system. You got Apple CarPlay, etc., etc. The list goes on. These things now light up at night. There's still sliders to adjust your temperature controls, which I do not love. I do wish there was a dial of some sort. This navigation menu did take me a little bit of time to get used to. And if I hadn't have driven the GTI just before this, it probably would have taken me even longer. You basically access all your apps up here in the top right, including your vehicle and your drive mode. So you're really only going to be hitting the drive mode and that one to get to your apps. But once your phone's connected, you got Apple CarPlay running on the full screen or your Android Auto through the App Connect. You don't really touch a lot of this stuff anyway. You do still have these sort of hard touch buttons at the top, which I like. The mode button, this is the one you're going to use the most. When you have your CarPlay running, you're only going to really want to use the mode button, but here's how you select your drive modes. You can set up individual, race, there's a special Nürburgring mode. And while we're here, I'll point out that the auto start stop can be turned off at a hard button at the top too. And you've got this, which is the parking menu. You hit that, up comes your parking assistant, so it can park itself, but who really uses that? Jump into camera, there's your camera. So it does have some different views here. Here's down the side of the car, but it's the front one and the back one and the side one. That's pretty much it. And honestly, I'm happy with it. Not too hard to use. Generally, it's a thumbs up for me. In front of the driver, well, here's a close look at that steering wheel. So you see these are backlit driver controls over here for that screen. So digital instrument cluster in front of you. Perfectly fine, readouts are great. There's a whole bunch of different views you can cycle through. Things that I don't love so much about the interior, a lot of scratchy black plastic. I don't love that. I didn't love it in the GTI, and I thought, yeah, maybe the R won't have it, but it does. Extremely scratchy plastic. So you wouldn't expect a whole lot of space in the back of a hatchback, and I'm 6 foot tall. That's basically negative knee room there. My knees are going in the back of the driver's seat in front of me. Shall we have a quick squeeze in the boot before we take it for a drive? So the Golf's always been super practical. And to be honest, I don't think many people carry passengers in the back. So I'm kind of here for a little bit less leg room, but more boot space. And there is. Same as the GTI, or very similar. I easily got 2 carry-on bags in here. You could do a check bag and a carry-on bag. You don't get under floor storage because you do have this subwoofer back here as part of the Harman Kardon, but look, it's still the king of practicality. So I've had the very unique chance to actually spend time driving the new Golf GTI and then jump straight into this Golf R. For the last couple of days, I've been hanging out in rural New South Wales in Mudgee in the new Mark 8.5 GTI. So I'm probably one of the only people on this trip that's had the chance to drive both. And I would confidently say I'm the only person that's had a chance to drive both back to back. So what are the differences? Well, the first difference is the steering wheel. It's the thing I'm holding. It has capacitive touch buttons. I thought they went away from that, but it must have just been on the GTI because that has physical buttons. And I don't really mind too much. I'm not one of those people that goes, wow, I hate capacitive touch buttons. It doesn't really bug me all that much. Then the next thing I noticed is the suspension. Now, I don't know what they've done to the dampers in this car. I was cruising it around in comfort mode in the GTI. I'm cruising it around here right now, and it's just more comfortable, simply put. I don't know what they've done to the dampers, but the primary ride is just more composed, it's more dialed in, doesn't get upset as much over bumps, and they were riding on the same size wheels, 19-inch. The next thing you notice is the performance. It has a significant power advantage over the GTI, on top of the fact that it's all-wheel drive. So it has an EA888 engine, the same one that's been around for a long time now. It's just the latest revision. And the power bump is 10 kilowatts. So you're looking at 245 kilowatts of power now in the brand new Mark 8.5. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 4.6 seconds, so it's quick. It's not at hyper hatch levels. It's not you're gonna be your RS3s or your A45Ss, but it's certainly up there when you're looking at Civic Type Rs, A35Ss, and those sort of things, GR Corollas, etc. There's a really cool display you can bring up on this digital instrument cluster in front of me that shows you the torque split between the front and the rear axle, and also the torque split between those 2 rear wheels, because it can send 50% of the power to the rear axle, and then it can send 100% of that 50% to each wheel. So it can overdrive the outside wheel to push through a corner, and it can even overdrive the inside wheel if you want to have it step out a little bit and initiate some of that glidey oversteer. They've also introduced their version of anti-lag, so when you roll into a corner, let off the accelerator, then jump back on it, it gives you an instant boost of power. There's no sort of turbo lag to be heard of. When you put this car on paper compared to its main competitors, it stands out for a lot of reasons. It's a lot cheaper than the A35S, despite it offering pretty much the very similar in terms of performance. In fact, this one is probably edging the A35 in terms of performance. It won't be as sharp as that Civic Type R, but it also rides a whole lot better on these back roads. And then compared to the GR Corolla, that car's definitely leaning more into track. This is, and always has been, the executive's choice when it comes to hatches, and it still is. It just has a little bit more power. So how would I sum up the driving experience of the Golf R? I wouldn't say that the GTI is necessarily more pure. I think this is pure as far as hot hatches go in the modern age. I love the GTI, I love the front end, the nature of that, the way it sort of drags itself out of corners. You can go flat a lot more often because it doesn't have quite as much power. You can probably have more fun on some back roads in the GTI because it's not going to be going absolutely berserk on you like this thing would, but ultimately this is a significantly more capable vehicle because of the all-wheel drive system, but more importantly, because of that rear differential. The criticism of the Golf R in the past has been, this car isn't all that much fun to drive, but I think it's pretty darn fun. And to prove it, we're going to take it to the racetrack. Here we are on track in the brand new Mark 8.5 Golf R. We've already cut a few laps today with helmets on. Brakes, no fade. The diff, very impressive, but I thought I'd give you guys a quick lap here to talk about it. For one, the gearbox. It's slightly remapped in the Sport Plus mode when you're in Nürburgring mode. So there's a bunch of different drive modes in this car, but Nürburgring is the one that they want us to be trying out, and it's easy to see why. In Sport Plus, when you're in Nürburg, it will keep the gear held through the corners, which is quite impressive. And it knows exactly what to do. It is very PDK-esque in the gearbox. Fun, it's so cool. Executive Express, you can buy for $70,000, drive it to work every single day, and then when you get the call from Volkswagen, you can come hang out, take it on the track. Not bad. So that is the new Mark 8.5 Golf R. We've seen around the exterior of the car, some of the changes on the interior, taken it for a drive, including some track time, and it's really proven itself as the grandfather, really, of the hot hatches. If you guys like this video, go down below and smash that like button. While you're there, hit the subscribe. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments section. That's the new Mark 8.5 Golf R.